All right, welcome race fans once again here to Virtual Racing Network. We have a great Saturday night race in store for you. As you can see, we're here at Bristol Motor Speedway for the Roaring Thunder Racing League. Corvettes at Bristol should be a great race. We have 15 drivers here so far. We'll see if any more sneak in before we go racing here in about 10 and a half minutes. But again, before we get to all of that, of course, we want to go through all of the sponsors here that make it possible. Starting, of course, with Walls Beard Co. For all you gentlemen out there that have a beard, you need to take care of it. And what better way to do it than to check out wallsbeardco.com for their beard balm, all natural and organic products. You can look up, of course, wallsbeardco.com and get a hold of Mark Walls. He is the owner of that company, and you can check it out. All natural and organic, and of course, different scents out there, so not only will you look good, you'll smell good throughout the day as well. SimSpeedShop.com. If you are an iRacer, you need to check these guys out here. They have some great products over there, some custom-made button boxes just for you, and some e-brakes for you rallycross racers out there. So make sure you head on over to SimSpeedShop.com and pick up one or both of those great pieces of equipment today. Northwest Racing Series, again, they are the official one-to-go sponsor, so later tonight you will see the white flag waving, and it is presented by Northwest Racing Series. They are coming to a conclusion here. We have, I believe, 3 races, 2 Xfinity on Monday nights at 8:30 Pacific, 10:30 Central when we go live, and on Thursday we are off this coming week, but we will come right back for Homestead Miami the following week with their championship race here. We have 4 drivers battling for it. We'll see who comes out on top after that. If you're looking to get into that one, you got to be a Northwest club, and they'll get you hooked up there. If that is not your type of thing, you like to do some IndyCar racing, you can head on over to Facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League, and of course get in touch with them. That is Ohio IndyCar League. They are no longer just taking Ohio club members, so head on over there if some IndyCar racing is your thing and that's what you want to get into. And of course, iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics, your sim broadcast racing graphics source. And we actually have the owner of this company here, Jason Allison, racing with us tonight in this race. So we'll maybe get a talk in with him. You can head over there to ibog.co if you're looking to get into broadcasting or just looking to do some or get some overlays made for streaming, whatever it happens to be. He can hook you up. Jason Allison over at ibog.co. That being said, it is, of course, that time here where we introduce our second chair for the second time being in the booth here with this. This time, first time it was on RaceCore. Tonight it is, of course, on the RTRL race, and that is the one and only here, Randy Post. So, Randy, welcome to the booth once again, and how are you doing today?
Doing good, KR. Looking forward to this Corvette race. I've never really seen it done. I'm pretty excited to see how it goes.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not KR, but...
Oh, Charles, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sure KR, if he's listening in, he'll be happy to know that you think I'm KR. However, that is a downgrade for me. Sorry, KR, but I think higher there. But anyway, KR is usually in the booth here, so we got a little changing up here. We're getting a few extra commentators here working with us, so we are going to be opening that up on our website here shortly. You can head on over to virtualracingnetwork.net to get on there. We'll be opening that application here very shortly, so we are in the process of doing so. But we have a ritual here, Randy, that we pick the winner who we think it's going to be. This series, we've only been here for a short while. We've done this season. We don't have a whole lot of stats on them, and obviously you don't have any. It's your first race, but we'll let you go ahead and throw your pick out there based off of practice times here before we get to qualifying. Who you think might be your pick here for tonight's win?
I'm going to go with the 14 of Jeremy Horn. Got a decent lap time, and I've been watching him quite a bit during practice here, and he looks like he might be a solid pick for tonight.
I'll go with him. I'm torn here between the 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. and the 12 of Charles Smith. I think I'm going to go with Charles Smith here in the 12 just because I also like that number, and it was my number as well. Stephen Leffler, though, is your fast time here with a 13.909. And before I lose my voice here, speaking of times, of course, we do want to pull up our VRN race analyst here. It is partly cloudy here. Obviously, it's nighttime. It's dark out here. A southwest wind, 2 miles per hour, so wind's not going to play too big of a factor, I don't think. But you get to get broke in really good here for your second race, 170 laps, 85 miles. This is going to be a fairly long race, but I don't think it's going to take too long.
Right, and they're running 14-second laps, so 170 laps is a lot to count, but it'll go pretty quick at this half-mile track.
Yeah, and it looks like Bruce Wright is going to be here. So we're going to have 17 drivers. So this is a record car count here, I believe, if my memory serves me right here for this series. So a lot of great drivers. Pit road, I do believe, is 35 miles per hour. Pace speed is 40. That being said, tire window, fuel window, we didn't get a count on that. We did talk to some of these drivers earlier, though, and they said they could probably do it in one stop. So I don't expect fuel to be too big of an issue. However, I did hear from them that if a caution comes out after about 20 laps, they're probably going to come in, maybe before. So if we get that caution, I expect to see some guys come down in to pit road. The question is, how many cautions do you think we're going to have here tonight? I'm not predicting too many. These cars will get spread out here as there's only 15 or 17 of them now. So I don't think we're going to have too many cautions tonight.
I don't think so either. I mean, they were testing out the cars during practice to see how far they can push them, and there was a couple incidents, but I think they got their bugs worked out, and they'll be good to go now.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. So we'll see how it all plays out here shortly. Of course, for anyone in chat here tonight, I see we do have a bunch of people here with us. Bruce Wright in here, also racing here. Chuck, of course, in here with us as well. So we got Counter-Strike Go Bros in here. So a lot of good people here watching. If you've got a pick, if you know these drivers or maybe a family member, let us know in chat who you are calling for the win here. But again, 17 drivers, record count here for us. I really think we're in for a good treat to see, as Jeremy Horn just ran a faster time here to put himself in second with a 13.90. So some really fast times are coming in.
Right, and I think they're going to be pretty close because, I mean, 1 through 4 they're looking, the fastest lap is 15.909 and we've got 15.934. They're pretty close. Should see some good qualifying times and some good, clean, fast, close racing today.
Yeah, 0.001 separating our top two. Again, if we get some really good battling, we may get that caution, but I just don't see us having too many here. Again, we'll see who really comes out on top here. I believe this is a fixed setup, so there's not a whole lot they can do to tweak on these cars. What's interesting about these, though, they do have that pit limiter, so we probably won't see too many people speeding on pit road here tonight, as they do have that limiter that will allow them to get to a certain speed without actually breaking speed limit. However, there is that cone here with the blue line, so they're going to have to be leery of that and not go above the certain area before that cone, and that's something we will have to watch.
Right, and the pit limiter can really only help if you're at that speed or low. I mean, coming in, you're still going to have to be on the brakes, so that can be a tricky situation. If you're coming in too hot, you hit the brakes too hard, you could spin. We could see some incidents coming onto the pit road, but I don't see anything coming off pit road.
Yeah, I don't see too much coming off pit road as either. But that being said, we have about 1:20 left here, so we're going to step away and get to the national anthem. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll be right back with qualifying after your national anthem.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, we are back here, ladies and gentlemen, and qualifying is underway. As you can see, it's open qual here, as that is what they do, and times are already starting to come in, so we are going to jump down to it, and we will also pull up your driver bar, and here in a second we'll pull up our qualifying top 20 times. Everyone will be on there, and it looks like James Capehart is here. I didn't see him earlier, so he must have snuck in under the radar.
Yeah, we got a lot of good times coming in. I mean, faster than practice already. Jeremy Horn with a 13.891. That was faster than any practice time we saw.
It definitely was. They're picking up the pace here a little bit, so we'll go ahead and put down your qualifying times here on the screen, as they are still putting in times. Mark Koshik has not put a time in just yet, but he will here soon in that 33 machine as he's coming out onto the track. Looks like Garrett Wilburn has not put a time in yet. Chris Parness has not put any time in. John Estes and Jim Whaley Jr. have not put in times. So 12 people have put in times. One driver, of course, that is the 33 of Mark Koshik, fixing to put in his first time here shortly, as it looks like somebody is smoking on the track.
Yeah, they had a little bit of an incident on the backstretch. Somebody got turned around and collected a couple other cars I seen.
Well, that will happen when you have open qualifying. So we'll see here. Noah Lewis, we want to talk about him for a minute. In that 98 machine, he did say he was not feeling good, so hopefully he can make the race. This is his second race on top of that. So to not be feeling good and run two races is definitely a challenge. It's a challenge enough to run one race, much less two.
Right, and health can always play a factor in how you race on a late night like this. And second in qual right now with a 936. Like he might be up to par to be able to keep up with these guys this weekend.
Yeah, he's definitely a good driver. He's had some bad luck this season here, to say the least, but he's definitely a very fast driver, a very good driver. As we'll see, your leader here for practice is sitting third right now. That is Stephen Leffler in third place right now in that 72, as he's going to smack the wall coming by the line. So that lap will not count. Jason Allison is currently in fourth place in the 28. Now he's going to take third from Stephen Leffler. And Charles Smith is going to be in fifth right now in that 12 with a 13.981.
Watching these guys, they look to be all running the same line, trying to get as low as possible in the corners and shoot off in the top and straightaways here. And I think we're going to see a lot of close times here.
I definitely agree. And it looks like Garrett Wilburn has put a time in now, as well as Bruce Wright. So it's now only Chris Parness, John Estes, and Jim Whaley Jr. have not put in times, and I'm sure they will here shortly. Again, they still have 6 minutes to do so. So we still have plenty of time here in qualifying. And again, it's open qual, as you can clearly see here. These guys are all out at the same time. Obviously, drafting is not going to be a factor here tonight. But somebody spinning in front of you here in qualifying, or you having to do some evasive maneuvers to get around somebody that's wrecked or whatever, that could play a factor in your time. So you kind of have to be leery of that and try to put a gap in between you and the other cars.
Most definitely. You don't want to get too close, because if you make contact with anybody, obviously the time won't count, and trying to run the cleanest laps you can while keeping an eye on what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, and it looks like there the 17 was going around here, as he will get it off the track there. And Charles Smith is going to take third place from Jason Allison, 13.939. Jason ran a 13.950, so .011 separating those two. But very interesting to see here as we're looking here. The only person to run a 13.884 or period, a 13.8 at all, is Jeremy Horn. So if he can continue that pace throughout the race and be a tenth faster, he could I doubt he'll lap the field very easy, but being a tenth faster, you will steadily pull away from this field.
Right, and that can make a huge difference. It gives you a little bit of wiggle room if you mess up in a corner or getting out of a corner. That can give you a lot of room to recoup before people start bombarding you with being around you, trying to pass you for the lead.
Yeah, and I'm going to be keeping an eye. I'm going to be curious throughout the night how much tire wear we have. We don't typically see Corvettes here at Bristol, so we have no idea what the tire wear is going to be like. If it's going to play a factor, will they wear fast? Will they wear slowly? Obviously, you're going to get some tire wear, but how much? Because these are typically road racing cars. They are a GT1 car, for anyone that's familiar with that. There's GT1, GT2, GT3. So, they are not really meant for going around in circles, to say the least. So, that is going to play a little bit of a factor, but they handle very well. So here at Bristol, I think we'll be pretty okay as far as handling, but we'll have to keep an eye on tire wear.
Right, and only racing a total of 85 miles, they might be able to get away with not getting tires, but it's definitely going to give the other guys an edge if they do get tires.
Yeah, and again, we'll see how all that plays out. As they do have headlights here too. That's a little different because we're used to NASCAR, the trucks, the Xfinity, or the Cup cars running here. They don't have headlights, so you can use those headlights to your advantage. As you see the 28 of Jason Allison blinking his lights, typically that's an indicator that you're faster. Let me by. That's usually though when you're in multiple classes. We are not running multiple classes, just one here. So we'll see. There's Simon Thorns right now in 8th place, running in a pretty good spot, top 10 time, 13.998. But still nobody running 13.8s except for our pole sitter so far, with 2.5 minutes to go.
Right, and he's had that time since the beginning of qualifying session, so I'm starting to wonder if he's going to run that time and then just wait it out and not put too much stress on the car before the race.
Yeah, he is sitting on pit road right now. But also makes you wonder, as he is going back out, did he run that lap before all these cars got out here? And once you get everyone out here, people running different lines, interviewing with your line, he could have had a very clean track, and that's when he did that time. We'll see if he can duplicate that once we get to racing conditions here in about 2 minutes or so. I think he can do it. We'll see if he can get out front, and that's what looks like where he's going to be starting. He very well may be able to get that time again.
For sure, as he just turned a 14.034 on his warm-up lap here. But going off of what you said about all the cars coming out, having all those cars turning laps can heat up the track. And we're sitting at 71-degree track temp right now. And as the new update comes out, I've noticed that the track temp will rise and decline due to driving on the track, so that could have been a huge factor as well.
Yeah, it is nice to see now what the actual track temp is. Before, whatever it started at, that's what we could see, but we can actually see that temp go up, and I have a feeling it's going to go pretty high here tonight, especially with 100 and some odd laps. That is going to be a lot, 170 laps. That temp is definitely going to go up, assuming all the cars stay out on the track and we don't have a big wreck that takes a bunch of these cars out. 170 laps is going to put down some serious rubber, some serious heat into the track, and that will adversely affect how this track handles. It's one of those things we just have to keep an eye on throughout the race and see if maybe one of these drivers comes to life once that rubber and heat gets laid down.
Right. One of these drivers could come to life, as you said. They have a setup for a longer run car where some people have a short run car expecting a lot of cautions. It's a different mindset for different drivers.
It is, and we'll see which driver has the right one here for the races. We have 20 seconds left on the clock here, and it looks like Jeremy Horn is going to be your pole sitter here with 10 seconds to go. We'll definitely know here very shortly as the clock is winding down. 5 seconds left on it, and that will do it right there. Time is up. Checkered flag waving. So that's going to do it here. Jeremy Horn will be your pole sitter here for the Walls Beard Co. starting grid. And we'll be getting to that here in just a few moments, as that will do it for qualifying. So we'll be right back with your Walls Beard Co. starting grid. Alright, we are back here, and it's that time, of course, for your Walls of Beard Co. Starting grid, starting on row 1 in the number 14 with a blistering fast time of 13.884. That will be Jeremy Horn. On his outside is going to be the 98 of Noah Lewis with a 13.936. Row 2 is going to be the 12 of Charles Smith and the 17 of Garrett Wilburn. Row 3 is going to be the 28 of Jason Allison and the 72 of Stephen Leffler. Row 4 is going to be the 51 of Paul Cohen and the 57 of Simon Thorns. Row 5 is going to be the 73 of Mark Frank and the 37 of Ronald Vincent. Row 6 is going to be the 15 of Bruce Wright III and the number 80 of John Estes. Row 7 is going to be the 3 of Jeff Dotson and the 33 of Mark Koshik. Row 8 is going to be the 49 of James Capehart and the 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. And rounding out your field here for tonight's race in row 9 is going to be Chris Parness, and he will again be starting 17th to round out your field, and that was the Walls of Beard Co. starting grid here for tonight's race. And it looks like everyone except for John Estes has taken to the grid, and we're going to roll off, so he is going to miss the start here. Originally supposed to be starting 12th, so that will move a few drivers up a little bit.
Right, and starting from the back, and if you start from the pits, that's a strategy move. You could want to just miss the big wreck right at the beginning if it does happen. If not, you're going to be a lap down pretty quick, and you're going to have to fight to get that back.
Yeah, and that's never a fun task to have to try and fight that lap back at all. It can get tough to have to try to fight it, as it's just not an easy thing to do, especially not here at a track like Bristol, where you can go a lap down so quickly here, especially the fact that you have to stay behind that cone now. So that makes it even tougher. is you have to go a little bit slower on a track like this, because you go too fast, you're going to spin it out, or you could possibly drift up and get a black flag, and then you're definitely done for the day, unfortunately, as you would really have to fight or get really lucky to get some cautions. But lights are off, so we're going to get the green this next time by. And since you are here just for your second time, we'll give you the honors here, Randy, and you can get them started here when they take this green.
All right, we'll get them wound up, and get ready to go racing here. Come out of, it looks like turn 4 here. Pace car dives off. They're getting a little close on the start here. Up in the pole. Green flag flies, and they're going racing. As Noah Lewis definitely is getting a good run off of the outside there, but Jamie Horn keeps on the lead.
And you'll see a lot of two wide battling with these guys. Again, we talked about it in the pre-race show. These cars handle so well, but the front two have kind of got spread out here a little as Noah Lewis scrapes the wall. Here comes a Garrett Wilburn trying to get in there. But if you go back here to Jason Allison, these guys are 2 and 3 wide back here, putting on a great show. As it looks like the 72 of Stephen Leffler is going to try to get by Jason Allison on the inside, but I don't think Jason Allison is going to allow that. And actually, he is getting on the inside.
Right, and you're going to see a lot of good battles for a little while until the field gets sorted out to where they're kind of spread out a little bit, but then we'll see a lot of good racing after that once everybody's spread out.
And they'll methodically make their moves here, as they always do. But again, there's 2 distinct lines, up on the high side and down at the bottom, and which line will prevail we'll know here shortly. It looks like maybe the outside lane is the preferred lane here. Again, with the way this track is with the banking, the outside lane seems to usually do better, as you know, you can carry so much speed. It has that progressive banking, that the outside lane typically is the faster one. Even though the bottom is shorter.
For sure, and going off of which lane might be faster, you got Jamie Horn running the middle line in the corners, and he's got a 8/10 of a second lead on Garrett Wilburn in second place here, so he must have been able to figure something out to where he's going to get a little bit of time ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, he definitely is. And it looks like Jason Allison's going to scrape the wall there a little bit. So far, everyone is doing good. We'll see. Jim Whaley Jr. had contact there. He has got serious damage. He is on pit road. Not sure what happened, but he is definitely smoking here on the pit road. So something happened to the 46 of Jim Whaley Jr. to put him on pit road. And as we go back up to the front here, close to the front anyway, John Estes did not come out, so he is not going to be racing here today.
And really stink, because he was in practice. He put in the time and effort to make the race, and if you have something that pulls you away, it can really be a bummer.
Yeah, you definitely never want to miss a race, but something came up, like you said. So you know, it's just unfortunate that it does happen. But taking a look here to the lead, Jeremy Horn, what a run for him. He has a .881 second lead right now, and he is definitely pulling away. He's, however, not running those 8s that we saw him running in qualifying. That was definitely a qual run, or maybe just not able to hit it again so far here. We'll keep an eye, as these guys are already, well, I thought they were running 14s, but he's back down to a 13.9, 8.5, so not so much of a fall off here with 14 laps on these tires. Not yet anyway. We'll keep an eye on that throughout this event to see what happens. Getting up to about 145 miles an hour here, so fairly quick times for these guys.
Right, and the track has raised its temperature about a degree already. It's at 72 degrees, so that could play a little factor in a slower time as they're sliding a little bit into the corners. Not as cold as it used to be, so they're trying to adjust to corner entry speed.
Yeah, and we'll see how they do when it all comes in. Noah Lewis falling back 1 spot here, but again, we have 170 laps, so you can't count him out just yet. This race is far from over by any means, as these guys have plenty of time. And we did hear, remember we talked about it in the post-race show, anything around 20 laps or above, these guys would come down. We're on lap 18 right now, it's caution-free. So again, if that caution comes out, I think we will see these guys come down and get tires, but so far that isn't happening. I did predict we'd go caution free. You know, looks like my prediction could come close right, but again, it's one of those things we have to wait and see here. Mark Koshik back here sitting in 11th place. Usually see him a little higher up, so surprising to see him as he scrapes the wall there back in 11th place right now.
Right, and man might just be having an off night, and you did say that it was going to go flag to flag tonight, and being as spread out as they are, they could very well happen. We've seen it before.
Yeah, we have, so we'll take a little bit wider angle here as well right now for 4th position, but that's really about the closest battle we have. Like you said, these guys have really gotten spread out, and you know, not a whole lot going on as far as as far as battling going on. But they are definitely trying to get by as many cars as they can because they want to get up to the front, but they're just too spread out. These guys are too good at what they do here. As we do want to take a quick update here as we switch back to our main camera. John Estes is out on the track now.
All right, let's see. It's 22 laps down, but he can still work back from it. Not back on the lead lap per se, but he can still possibly get a couple positions if somebody were to wreck out. It can happen.
Yeah,
not out of the race yet.
Yeah, he's nowhere near out of this race just yet. As far as win, I think his shots are pretty slim here. Again, he would have to get a ton of cautions in order for that to happen, and get a ton of lucky dogs and wave rounds, and I don't see that happening here. However, Jim Whaley Jr. is done. He has packed it up and put it in the hauler here tonight. So he will gain that position, so he'll be, at least get 16th out of the night. Other than that, everybody else is on the lead lap right now, but it looks like our leader, Jeremy Horn, is about to put the 49 of James Capehart a lap down here. So already starting to put these guys a lap down.
Right, and he's coming up on the 15 of Bruce right here real quick too, so he's definitely going to be weaving in and out of cars, which could cause an issue.
Yeah, it could. And we've seen a lot of these guys that we just saw Bruce Wright do it there, really tagging that outside wall. And again, what you have to keep in mind too is this track has about a foot, maybe a foot and a half less than it used to. It's been here for quite a while, but not too many people run this track because they don't like short track racing. But that extra foot there, when you have all this speed, because of that safer barrier wall, is definitely, it can play a factor in there as you think you have a little bit more room than you actually do.
Right, and just watching some of these guys, a lot of them are trying to figure out what line is going to be best for them while getting away from the leader as weaving through them. Got the 3 of Jeff Dotson getting ready to get passed by.
Yeah, Jeff Dotson right there. We'll see. That's your league owner too. He has won here this series, so he definitely is a proven winner. But tonight he is hitting the crosshairs of Jeremy Horn, potentially going to be a lap car. And again, I don't think John Estes has much of a chance at winning here, being laps down. But that puts him to where he's not the lucky dog anymore either, as these other cars are able to say that be 1 lap down, they would get that lucky dog, as now it's going to be Jeff Dotson. And it looks like Mark Frank is going to be the next one, and right in front of him is Mark Koshik. So 2 marks in a row, and caution will come out this time, and it looks like we have several cars involved.
Right, I didn't get to see what was happening. I was watching Jeremy Horn here.
Let's go back and we'll take a look. I'm not sure who is involved, but again, about like 4 cars involved in this at least. So we'll see here as we're watching the 72, but I believe it started up here. Not sure where this started. I believe 72. Steven Leffler was involved, so we're gonna hang tight with him and see what might have happened. Oh no! Go back here. Who is that? Somebody. Looks like the 49, James Capehart, got involved. So we're going to go back here just a little bit more and see if we can figure this out, see what might have happened. I think somebody spun out in front of the 49. There was something happening in front of him, as we're going to try to diagnose what happened here. He definitely had something happen, but something may have happened in front of him as well.
Right, I saw the 49 spin by himself, but at the same time, I'm looking at the 51 who came away smoking, but I didn't see him hit anything.
Yeah, it looks like the two cars that spun, it looked like the 49, James Capehart, scraped the wall. Jason Allison got a piece of his back bumper, and then everyone else behind him was just a innocent victim there. It looks like trying to avoid the situation. So it looks like the 49, not going to say he's at fault there for causing that caution, but did scrape the wall. Jason Allison getting a slight piece of his back bumper there because of that, and spin him around, and that will bring out the first caution here tonight as we'll pull up our caution graphic. That is caution number 1 for 3 laps. We still have 132 laps to go as everybody came down pit road here except for your race leader, Jason Allison, who's going to stay out on 39 lap tires.
Right, and who knows, maybe the tires were getting a little slick to where they just didn't have enough grip to hold on to it. And as I look again, the track temp has gone up to 73 degrees, so it is climbing, so that could also be a huge factor in what caused that.
Yeah, it definitely could. You have able to pull that. What is our track temp before it may cool down a little bit here with them under pace laps?
73 degrees.
73, not too terribly bad here. So the track temp still fairly cool, but again, at nighttime, partly cloudy. Sometimes it can get lower than that, but 73 degrees, not too terribly hot, but it's definitely enough. It's going to add a little heat to this track, so we'll just have to wait and see if it plays a factor here. And the other thing we got to keep an eye on here is Jason Allison on those 39 lap tires. Will those tires play a factor? His best lap was a 14.009. These guys behind him are running 13.9, so not too terribly much slower, but with those older tires, he might be a little slower. Will he spin them? Will something happen? We've seen in the past, not necessarily in this series, where older tires can play a factor in getting a good start.
He definitely could get freight trained off the start, which wouldn't be good because, I mean, he's stayed out to make a gamble here and pays off as the lights are off on the pace car.
They are indeed, and we're getting the green flag here any minute. There it is. Green flag is back in the air, and we are racing, and there it happens.
There it
Jason Allison goes around, and caution is out. I'm wondering if them tires did play a factor in that, or if Jason Allison might have missed a gear. Let's go back and take a look. Oh, we were afraid that might happen, as it did indeed happen. Something went haywire with the 28 of Jason Allison. As we're watching the replay here, we're going to get a better look here from the spotter camera to see if we can figure out what happened to him.
Right, looking at it from my end, watching the speed and everything, he started to climb in speed and got to about 58 miles an hour, and it just stopped. So he might have missed a gear and caused the person behind him to run into the back of him and collect everybody else.
I think you might be correct on that. And while we have a caution here, I don't expect anybody to come down. Let's see if we can't get a quick word in with Jason Allison real fast, as he is not going to go in, so we'll pull him down here real fast. Jason Allison, you got a copy?
10-4.
Well, was it the tires, or did you miss a shift? What lead us through what happened there on that restart?
I just got ran over. I don't know if they were expecting me to go a little quicker than I was or what the case was, but as soon as I shifted into second here, they came and plowed.
Well, we were wondering if you had, if it was the tires maybe, or if you just missed, but neither one, just getting run over there, as it looks like you're limping it into pit road, so we don't want to keep you here so you won't speed on pit road or anything, but we'll let you go, and hopefully you can get that fixed and get back out on the track.
10-4, thank you.
All right, well, there you have it. Again, didn't miss a shift or anything, just got rear-ended. So I'm sure if we had talked to the other one, we would see what happened on their end as well. But we'll leave it there for now, as that is our second caution here. And that one came out very quickly. We were afraid something like that might happen. Again, maybe not the tires. playing a factor, but something went haywire between the 28 and the car behind him, and it brought out a caution here again.
Right, and I think it was the 98 of Noah Lewis that got into the back of him. And he didn't pit, so he might not have that bad of damage. See what happens on the restart for him.
It will be very interesting now. Again, these guys only have 8 laps on these, and quite a few of that's going to be under caution, so we didn't expect anybody to come down this time, as they did not. So we'll just wait here and see as we are under caution, and we'll see if we can get an eye on the pace car. The lights are still on, so we at least have one more lap to get around this track, as it takes us just about 15 seconds shy of a minute to get around this track under caution.
Which is really crazy because they're running 13-second laps when they're up to speed. The pace speed must be really, really slow, and it looks like it's about 40 miles an hour. So that's about 105 mile an hour difference in up to speed laps. So they definitely could be saving fuel as well.
Yeah, I think they are saving fuel. The lights are off, though, so this time by here, it seems as good as time as any. We're going to go a little crank it up here. So next time by, we get the green flag halfway there. So hopefully all the fans out there are used to crank it up here on a VRN, because we are going to go crank it up style. So we're going silent here for a few laps. We'll be right back after a little crank it up here on VRN. Alright, we are back here. Caution back out on the track. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened and who's involved. Maybe the 73 of Mark Caution getting involved, as we'll take a look here at the instant replay. Oh, he was already on pit row. He's been there for quite some time here, so I'm not sure what happened. Take a look in front, and there goes somebody going around. Not sure who that was. It looks like the 51 of Paul Cohen that went around. So let's go back and take another quick look at that from a few more seconds back. They were going 3 wide at one point here, as the 51 gets a piece of the 3, and then he gets into the wall, and looks like the 3 gives him a little spin, but it looks like some hard racing. I don't think anyone there really knew what was going on as far as wrecking go. No one expected that for sure. Just really hard racing, and looks like the 51 got into the wall and just kind of spun it around.
Right, it might have just surprised the 3 that he was there and didn't know, wasn't paying attention in the mirrors or something, then surprised him that the 51 came up on him and he didn't know.
Yeah, and that will do it for the theory of going caution-free here. By a long shot, we've had 3 cautions for 12 laps. We still have 120 laps to go. Now it's going to be 119, so will we go the rest of the way caution-free? At this point, I'm not thinking so. I think we'll still have a few more in store. As right now, we have a few drivers out of this race. We started with 16, 17 finally came on, as John Estes did start the race after Jim Whaley Jr. was out. And now Mark Frank is out of the race, and Stephen Leffler out of the race. And we do have Paul Cohen and Simon Thorns on pit road, so we currently only have 11 of the 17 drivers on track.
Right, and Jamie Horn, leading again. Charles Smith up to second. I don't remember where exactly he started, but moving. And Noah Lewis in third. He's been up there all night. So what kind of line Charles is running to where he's made these positions up here.
Yeah, he is moving forward ever so slightly for the rest of these guys. Garrett Wilburn, we want to take a look at him real fast as his driver bar. He started 4th. He's in 4th, so he hasn't really gone up or down so far in this race. But he is definitely staying right where he's at. Looking at 5th place, Mark Koshik started 14th. He's up to 5th. So he is probably our biggest mover of this race. And like I said earlier in the pre-air show, and right as we got started, he's someone you usually see much further up in the field where he is now. So again, I'm glad to see he's back where he normally is.
Right, maybe he had an inkling that there was going to be a couple cautions early on, and with these cars on this short track, so maybe he just wanted to start in the back a little bit and kind of work his way to the front, let everybody wreck and not get collected.
Yeah, it could be. And just want to give a shout out to Rudy, who is in the chat. I believe that is Rudy, hence the dude that was going on in chat. And glad to have him here. And yeah, well, if we get another caution, Chris, we will definitely get Noah Lewis in here to see how he's feeling, as we know he wasn't feeling it too well earlier. But he is right now running second as the green flag is back out. We'll see if he can run down your race leader. So for someone who is not feeling too well, he is definitely running very well. And he is giving Jeremy Horn a run for his money. But looking a little further back here, we've got some really good battling going on for fourth position. That is the 33 of Mark Akashik, the 67 of Chris Parness, who is actually going to take the position of fourth from well, there goes the caution. That is why he took the position. Mark Koshik going around, and 4 more cars involved in a big caution. So let's go back and take a look.
Like the 33 might have smacked the wall on the front stretch there, lost a little bit of speed, and 17 got into the back of him, which caused them both to spin and collect a couple more cars.
Yeah, and we'll go back here as we didn't go quite back far enough. We're going to take another look at this one as you were talking about it. And there it is, 33 into the wall. And it looks like, there it is. He gets a little bump, and then from then on, it is just chaos back in the back of this field. And people getting tangled up here. So we're going to go back up to live, and we're actually going to Noah Lewis as we'll pull him down here and get a quick word in with Noah Lewis. See how he is hanging in, if we can find him. There he is. Noah Lewis, you got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4, I gotcha.
Well, we got your number one fan out in chat here wanting us to talk to you. And we do want to pull you in here anyway and talk to you and see how you were doing here, as we'll go on board with you here. You would know you weren't feeling too well, so how are you feeling? And we see, obviously, if you're feeling not too good, it's not affecting your performance here at all.
Yeah, I'm definitely not feeling good. You can probably hear it in my voice, but yeah, we're running all right now, and hopefully we can keep it up front. Start at second, and we're second right now, and it'll be interesting to try to hold CB off on the restart, because on the initial start, the bottom lane gets the good jump. But yeah, it was interesting. I ran the lower race earlier and had, I think, my best finish of the season over there, and I'm sick. And I wasn't going to run this race tonight, and I decided, hey, I'll hop on and see what the car feels like. And I liked it, and now I'm running second while I'm sick. So sucks that we were out of the chase. Now that we're having a good run, hopefully we can capitalize and keep it going. But yeah, just in here to, race and not care about points or anything like that, and see where we end up. But maybe this whole sick thing is giving me some good luck. I don't know.
Well, never fun to be sick, but if it's your lucky charm, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But definitely you are pulling together some good finish there, and hopefully a good finish here. All the chaos is happening behind you back there with multiple car wrecks going on. But real quick, before we get the one to go here in just a minute, anyone you want to give a shout-out to before we let you go?
Oh, yeah, of course, my friend Christopher out there, he's watching. He's always watching, so big thanks to him for taking some time to watch me race out here, and big thanks to Jeff and for you guys, Jeff for putting on the league, and you guys for broadcasting it. So, yep, hopefully we'll keep it up front, maybe get one position better, and have a good night.
All right, well, we'll let you go here. Again, that was the 98 of Noah Lewis. As for this restart, we haven't gone on board here. Let's go on board. We'll actually go a little bit further back here to the 67, who's right behind Noah Lewis, and we'll go on board here for the restart. As this is going to be an interesting restart here. We've had a few cautions now, but the lights are off, so we're going green next time by.
Right, and looks like there's only like 10 cars sitting on the track right now, getting ready to take the green flag. So we've had a couple cars leave tonight already, pack it up and go home. But we still got a lot of racing left and a lot of good racing to go.
Yeah, and we'll see here is the pace car is diving off. There it is. Green flag is out. And again, you're watching on board here with the 67 of Chris Pernes out as he watches those front two pull away very quickly here. And now the car in front of him, Charles Smith in the 12, is going to pull away as well. So we are going to jump off board and go to our main camera here as these guys are already single file here for the top 5 cars.
Sure, and it looks like there's a decent battle for 6 back there with Jason Allison, Jeff Dotson, and Garrett Wilburn, all on the lead lap. So we should have some good racing left here.
Yeah, you should indeed. Jeff Dotson and Garrett Wilburn putting on a good battle. Again, they get single file pretty easy here, but they do manage to kind of sort it back out, and they get it grouped up, and they do have some battling going on later on. It takes a minute here. They kind of got to get their bearings in these cars, and then once they do that, they start to make more battles. As you see right now, Garrett Wilburn and Jason Allison putting on a battle for 6th position again. You know, they, like you said, they battled, and they spread out, and then they regroup and battle again, and that's a battle for a 6th position, and it looks like Garrett Wilburn may get it. He is not. He's going to settle back for 7th.
Right, and looking at the leaderboard here, we've got only 2 cars that are a couple laps down. We've got Mark Koshik and Paul Cohen, Paul Cohen's on pit road. He's been on pit road for a while, so he's got something wrong with the car. But Mark Koshik running 10th with 1 lap down behind everybody, just trying to get those points and stay on top here.
And we got a caution again, and this time, oh no, it looks like Garrett Wilburn stuck in the fence. That is not how he's going to end it. He will have to tow. They're going to have to do more than tow. They're going to have to get some shears or something, some tools, and cut him out of the fence. So let's go back and take a look. Not sure what happened to Garrett Wilburn. He was racing with Jason Allison back here. Something went terribly wrong as he got stuck in the fence, and that very well could end his night. As we'll see. Oh, he just slides up maybe. Gets into Jason Allison in the 28. Again, that is the 17 of Garrett Wilburn stuck in the fence. He did get out of the fence, but that is going to cost him a lot of time on pit road.
For sure. Towing can take a long time. You could be sitting there for a long time waiting for them to get your car ready to go. And I did see Mark Koshik spin a little bit after the incident as he was coming up on it. I don't know if that gave him a bunch of damage or if he's going to be good to go for this next green flag run.
It did, and Jason Allison on pit road as well. He's been there for over a minute, as well as Garrett Wilburn. So both of those going to be on pit road. That will leave us with currently 8 cars on the track. And this field is dwindling down just a little bit here at Bristol Motor Speedway. As we are seeing a few cautions now back to back here. We'll take a look. 5th caution, 23 laps. We've completed 71 though. Less than 100. We have 99 laps to go.
A lot of racing left. A lot of mistakes to be made. That's kind of what you got to expect with taking some of these road racing cars onto an oval. You may not know how they handle sometimes, especially at a short track like Bristol.
Yeah, Bristol is such a treacherous track, and we talked about it in the pre-race show here about the progressive banking around this track. You know, you can run multiple lanes here. The faster side is kind of on the higher side, typically. Again, that is with like NASCAR, Cup car, stuff like that. But we heard from Noah that the inside lane got the run on the restart. But you'll see these guys gradually move up, and those two are still trying to battle up there anyway. So we really have to keep an eye. As you've seen, the higher you run up on this track, you do run the risk of exactly what happened. You get 2 cars tangled up, and the only place to go is in the fence, and it can catch you. And if it does, it just spells disaster for your night.
Right, and that can be a night ender for sure.
right now it looks like lights are off, so we are set to get the green flag once again. And it looks like we still have Jason Allison and Garrett Wilburn on the pit road. Still only 8 cars on the track, as we will get a restart here next time by. So it's going to be interesting here. I can't remember, who was your pick for tonight's win?
My pick was Jeremy Horn. He's been up there all night. Let's see if he can stick on to it.
And I was going with Charles Smith, so we'll see if he can. As there it is, green flag is back in the air. Noah Lewis gets a huge start this time, as it looks like it's not going to matter. Jeremy Horn is going to get by him, though, or stay in front of him, I should say, not get by him. But here comes Noah Lewis all over.
Run.
He has definitely got a run there going, and it looks like it's not going to stay as fast as he wanted. Here comes the 67 of Chris Perness trying to get in there, and it looks like Chris Perness is going to take that spot of second position here, and that is going to be the first time he's been up there. Started 17th up to second.
Yeah, we've been green flag for about 2 laps now, and Jeremy Horn has a 6/10 lead on second place already, so he's definitely moving. You can definitely tell that not having damage from all the wrecks is definitely giving him a help.
It is indeed. And I'm not sure if Noah Lewis has any damage on there, or if that's just part of the car. It looks like he does have some damage on the right side, actually quite a bit of damage, and that may be slowing him down now, as obviously the 67 does not, and it cautions out once again, and more cars involved, as we have looks like the 3 of Jeff Dotson and the 33 of Mark Koshik involved. Let's go back and take a look. We'll see if he can, or what happened here between these two. I'm not sure. Jeff Dotson was in front at the time. I believe he was anyway. What happened to these guys? They're both on the into pit road, but they are out. Oh, Jeff Dotson just spins it out, slides it up, and Mark Koshik has nowhere to go but into the side of his car to bring out the caution once again. But both of them do manage to get it fixed and get back, get some damage fixed anyway, and get back out on the track. Again, let's go back here and take a look at Noah Lewis's right front suspension. Well, that's a very bad view to look at. So some scrapes there if we're looking at the right rear suspension, but I don't think it's going to play too much factor into the car itself, but definitely a little bit of damage. Just not enough I think is going to affect him, especially not on a short track like this.
No, in the long run, I could see it possibly being a hamper on him, and we've had so many cautions lately, I don't think it's going to have that big of a deal with making a big deal with it.
And the good news is that wing is perfectly intact, no damage there. But like you said, cautions being the key here, so we'll pull that back up. We've had 6 cautions so far, 28 laps, as we are on lap 82 right now. These guys have been out there for about 44 laps on this run. However, that is not meaning too much. We've spent a lot of that under caution here in the last bit, as we went green for quite a while and then caution after caution here. So cautions breeding more cautions here tonight. So this definitely, short track racing damage doesn't hurt you too much, and with cautions it's definitely not going to hurt him. So it looks like he probably just scraped the wall or something. So we know he didn't get into anyone, or no one got into him. So he should be perfectly fine here. And I think we'll see him battling up there with those front 2 here again when we get this green flag.
Damage definitely could have came from early on when it ran into the back of Jason Allison on the restart. Could still be from that. You don't really know. I didn't see if it was from that exactly.
Yeah, and it very well could be from that. Again, I would imagine it probably is, because he probably's had it for quite a while. And obviously it hasn't affected him one bit. I just think that maybe the 67 got a run on the inside, and that's why he was able to get by. As Noah said himself, the inside lane is a good place to be at the restart, and that is exactly when the 67 there of Chris Parness did get by him. So, you know, I would look to see him get back by as he's now on the inside. So I think he'll take second back here on the restart.
For sure. And just looking right now, it looks like we've got 6 cars on the lead lap, with Jeff Dotson being 1 lap down. So a lot of cars didn't make it all the way tonight so far, but still a lot of racing left to get back on the lead lap if you can try to fight for a position.
Yeah, and green flag is back out. Mark Koshik, Jason Allison both off the track, as Jeff Dotson is the last car on the track right now, as he is also a lap down. And it looks like he may have had some blinking issues there going on. But we're watching right now the battle for second, as it looks like Noah Lewis has almost had his position back. And here he comes rallying to the inside. And I think he's going to take second back here from the 67. There he will indeed take second place back. The 98 of Noah Lewis, the inside lane prevailing once again, just as Noah did say it would happen. So he predicted that one there, and it worked out perfectly for him.
Right, and it looked like the 67 had gotten into the wall a little bit, trying to drive it off the corner too hard, trying to keep up with Noah, and which caused him to lose a bunch of speed and give the position back to Noah.
And looking back here a little bit, we got some battling possibly going on back here between the 37, 67, and the 15. That is Chris Parness back here, Ronald Vincent, and Charles Smith, all battling right now for third position, as these guys are not giving up anything. They really want to get the win. They've just got a few spots to do it here, and only, again, 7 cars on the track. Jeff Dotson back here in currently 7th position, 1 lap down. If the caution was to come out, he would be your lucky dog here for the race, or right for that caution anyway. So we'll see if he can potentially get that, but we need another caution. But with this few cars, they're going to get really spread out, and the odds of a caution are going to get slimmer and slimmer.
Right, and that he'd get the lucky dog is if he didn't get collected in it. If he got collected in it, somebody else would get the lucky dog, which would really be a bummer for him.
Yeah, it would be definitely a bummer. He's doing a good job right now to stay there. The question is, will he be caught here and go another lap down? Right now he is running 14.1s. Your leader, Jeremy Horn, is running 13.9s. So he is a little off pace, but I just don't know how soon he's going to catch him. He's still got quite a bit of time. But definitely Jeremy Horn is on rails, as he now has 1.9 seconds. Now 2 seconds even behind him, or in front of Noah Lewis and Chris Parness, as 2.6 seconds. So Noah Lewis is out as he gets into the wall. He is actually pulling away from third place Chris Parness. At least he was before that little wall smack there, as it looks like Chris Parness is going to get back by him here on lap 96, 97 now.
Right, and no, Chris Parness got a little loose coming out of the corner I seen, which makes me wonder how much longer do they have left on these tires? Are they waiting for another caution, or are we going to see some green flag pit stops here?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see if they can. As far as fuel goes, as we see some people talking in chat, they were saying they could make it on 1 stop if they did it. So we have 73 laps to go. I'm thinking here they pitted 61 laps ago. Now, some of these guys did. I don't think they can make it on fuel. I think they're going to have to pit. I'm not sure. But somebody was saying, we talked to the drivers, they were saying 1 stop here. And looking at Jeremy Horn, his stint for this run, as he has not been on pit road, was 63 laps ago. So I do believe they are going to have to come down pit road. But again, we just can't quite confirm on that. However, you do have drivers like Charles Smith, who is running in 3rd place right now. He was on pit road 20 laps ago. So he has much fresher tires, and he has a more fuel in that tank as well.
Right, and going off of the tires, Jeremy Horn hasn't pitted in 65 laps, and he's running 13.9s. Charles Smith pitted 21 laps ago, and he's running 14.125s. So there could be a different line in there, and just being around other people, but Jeremy Horn has definitely figured something out to where he can be fast consistently, even with old tires.
Yeah, he has definitely got something figured out here at Bristol. Again, and this is, I believe, the only short track they run, if I'm not mistaken. If not, it's not very rare, or very often they run these little short tracks. So it'll be interesting to see as we now have 65 to go at the line. Is right there. 65 laps to go left in this race. Still a ton of racing though. But it looks like your leader, Jeremy Horn, is starting to catch up to Jeff Dotson. He's not catching him quickly, or very quickly, but he is catching him. So it's just going to be a matter of time before he does catch him. As there they are. They're in the same corner right now, so I think he'll catch him probably in the next 10 laps.
For sure, and Jeremy Horn has a 4-second flat lead on Chris Parness in second. And as I take a look here, it doesn't look like Charles Smith is gaining too much ground on him either. So they're definitely spread out. If they stay like this, they could be expecting to finish right around these positions here.
Yeah, and we'll see if those pit stops do play a factor into it. But again, we have Jason Allison in there in chat with us here now, so it looks like his night may be done as well. Mark Koshik, both of them been on there 8 minutes for Mark Koshik and 14 for Jason Allison on pit road. And it looks like we'll see here. Take a look. There's Jeff Dotson. As we're going to zoom out just a little bit, as you see Jeff Dotson entering the corner, and then we'll see when he exits the corner right there. There's your leader right behind him. Is catching him very quickly. So something has gone very right for Jeremy Horn, and Noah Lewis now going a lap down. So something happened to him that we missed. We do apologize for that. But something went wrong for Noah Lewis here suddenly, as he is now a lap down, sitting in 5th place.
Right. Jeremy Horn has definitely figured something out as he just keeps running these fast laps. And as Jason said, there's really no tire fall off, so you could expect to see them possibly pit again if they really need to. But if there's not as bad a tire fall off as we're thinking, I don't see a need to pit anymore.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see here. Jeremy Horn's out front. Ronald Vincent's the next one potentially to go a lap down. So again, these guys are really struggling here compared to Jeremy Horn. So it makes you wonder if he has found really something that's working perfectly for him, or if the rest of these just haven't quite found the perfect line to run. But either way, whether they need to find the good line or if he's found it a perfect spot to be, something is happening here that is allowing him to lap basically in the foul field, as there's Jeff Dotson now going 2 laps down.
Right, and Noah Lewis, who started 2nd or 3rd on that last restart, did go a lap down. I don't know what happened or why he went so far down, because if it was the damage on his car or if something was just happening. But he's back in 5th right now, 1 lap down, first car lap down. So if we get a caution, he'll get the lucky dog here.
And we got Chris Potter in the chat letting us know he hit the wall. So there you go. He did hit the wall early, or a little earlier that we didn't see. Again, it didn't bring out a caution, so it didn't trigger our camera to go to it. But it's unfortunate here, as we now only have 4 laps. Our car's on the lead lap here, as there's your leader. And there's Ronald Vincent. So, again, we're going to take a wider angle here to see, and we'll switch back. There is Ronald Vincent, and as soon as he gets to the backstretch right there, there's your leader. So he's got about half a track between him and the leader. So he's got a bit of a cushion here for 4th place. But the way he's been running right now, I don't think that's too much of a safe spot. Is Ronald Vincent's running 14.351 on his last lap to a 14.0 for Jeremy Horn. So I wouldn't be too comfortable right now if I was Ronald Vincent or even Charles Smith.
Right, they're both running a little about the same same laps. Charles Smith just ran a 14.475, and Ronald Vincent ran a 14.470. So he's definitely got some room to catch up to him. But with Jeremy Horn running 14.030, he's definitely going to track him down here pretty soon.
Yeah, he's going to reel him in very quickly. Taking a look here, we're on lap 126 of 170. We're going to pull this up real quick. We want to note we've only had 2 lead changes here. Obviously, Jeremy Horn has led 123 laps of this race. And then the only other leader is Jason Allison, who is sitting on pit road for 18 minutes now, out of the race, basically 58 laps down. But he is our only other leader. So for all intents and purposes, Jeremy Horn has dominated this race. 42 laps to go. Laps are winding down here as we are in the last 50. And again, we run 4 laps a minute here. Before we know it, we're going to be in that 20 lap mark, and then it is go big or go home time.
Right, and the laps just fade away here due to it being such a small track, not slow track. This is definitely a fast track, but being so small, they just fly by, and next thing you know, it's the end of the race. It can be kind of daunting sometimes.
It definitely can be very daunting, as we'll see there. It looks like the 15 of Bruce Wright is going to go another lap down here very shortly, as he is in the danger zone. There he is, and there's your leader, so he is going to go another lap. And there goes the 98 of Noah Lewis going another lap down. So a lot of cars going a lap down, multiple laps here, but he still hasn't yet caught up with 4th place. We'll take a look. There is 4th place, so they're on the same corner now and on the same straightaway when they're on the straight. So it's probably about 2 or 3 laps, and we're going to see some more cars go a lap down. As we will note, there are right now, that is 3rd and 4th place, Charles Smith in the 12 and the 37 of Ronald Vincent right there together. And Jeremy Horn, your leader, is right on their back bumper, so he's about to put 3rd and 4th a lap down.
Right, and I would like to make a note here. Jason Allison is back out on track. He could be trying to get a couple more points in position with everybody down in the pits, so a little bit of strategy there. Yeah,
I don't know here. He's got 25 laps to pass Mark Koshik. As we'll pull up our caution graph here, we have 34 to go, so yes, he could indeed get by Mark Koshik. That's the only position he could take unless somebody else wrecked out pretty soon. So he is definitely going to try and gain that position to put himself in 8th. He's not running for a points battle. He just would like to get every point he could, though, anyway, to see where he can finish. But Jeremy Horn did get by 3rd and 4th. 3rd place, of course, the 12 of Charles Smith, and Ronald Vincent in 4th place. His next victim is set to be Chris Parness. As again, we're going to zoom out here and take a look. Right there, Chris Parness coming out of the turn, and there's your leader. So your leader is about half a track off, and I don't know how quickly he's going to catch him. When they're running 14.0s to 14.1s, it's going to take him quite a bit more time if he wants to catch up to 2nd place.
Right, and he's got a 6.6 second lead, and I would like to see him catch it just to say that he did it. He's had a fast car all night. That way he dominated the whole race. I mean, he's led almost every lap, but that is the true definition of domination there, if he laps the whole field.
Yeah, definitely a dominating performance. And again, he's a good driver. He always is, and he's showing why he deserves the win here, as he's led so many laps.
Right, and Chris Parness is passing Bruce Wright here, so he's got quite a bit of open track after Bruce Wright.
Yeah, and again, he's doing good. He started in 17th. We want to keep let everyone know that 17th to 2nd. That is a huge gain here tonight for him if he can finish in 2nd where he is right now. You can't ask for much better than that to do such a good run here. As we're on lap 145, now 146 of 170. Jeremy Horn, however, well, he hasn't really done a whole lot other than lead every single lap except for 3. He started first. He's in first. So as far as progressing goes, he really hasn't done any of that. As he again started first, and he's been there all race long, except for under a caution where Jason Allison didn't pit.
Right, and Jeremy Horn definitely is pulling ahead of Chris even more now that he's got an 8-second lead, 2 seconds since we brought it up the last time, and you see a lot of movement in these longer short track races. Going back on Chris Perness starting 17th and being up in second. You can see that a lot. There's a lot of room for that in these long short track races.
It is indeed, and we want to note here, we just saw it there, right as we saw it in chat, Noah Lewis has packed it up. He is out of the race, as well as Jason Allison, who you saw come back on the track here. He is now back in pit road once again. So unfortunate for him as he's back on pit road. That leaves us only 6 cars on the track right now.
Right, so that gives everybody a little bit to spread out. They can try and go green flag here to the end, so that we're not waiting any longer.
Yeah, it's very it's unfortunate this many cars out of the race. Jeff Dotson back to being well, he was the first car lap down. He's the last car on the track that is a lap down. So there for a minute he had a few cars behind him, but now he is once again the last car on the track. And we're going to take a look one more time here and see an eye on this. Between first and second right now, you're watching second as he's coming out of the corner, and there is the leader coming out of the corner here shortly. So he has closed that gap quite quickly, as there's 13.9 a 9.2 gap between them. So he is closing on him fairly quickly.
Right, and running 14-second laps, you're definitely going to see him be close towards the end. I don't want to say he's guaranteed to get it, but you'll see it be close for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be close. Will he lap the entire field? That's questionable at this point. 15 to go. I think, like you said, if he manages to lap this field, it's going to be possibly in the last few laps or the last lap. I just don't know if he can get there in time. He's still running 14 O's, and now Chris Perness is running 14 1s, almost 14 2s. So he is definitely closing that gap fairly quickly. But again, 13 to go. I just don't think he has enough time or enough laps to get up there.
Right, and as we got Chris here in chat, he's asking if they can make it on fuel. I'm about 85% sure that they're going to be able to make it on fuel. We shouldn't see any green flag stops here.
Yeah, I don't think we would. I was wondering if they could or not. Somebody was telling us before the race here, before we went live, that they could possibly get about halfway, make it one stop. That clearly is well over, as Jeremy Horn has been out on this set of tires for 123 laps. So he has been out there for quite some time. 10 laps to go. There ain't no way they're pitting at this point. It would be unheard of to pit here with 9 laps to go now.
Right, and that stretch of cautions that we had definitely could have played a part in it with having so many slow laps. I mean, we were cautioned for a lot of laps there, so that could definitely play a part into not needing fuel.
Yeah, it could indeed. While we have a little break here, there's not a whole lot of racing action going on. We do want to quickly thank everybody for coming here tonight to watch this race, as we now have 7 laps to go. If you are new here tonight and haven't hit the subscribe button and you like the racing, we have plenty of great racing action going on throughout the week, so definitely hit that subscribe button, as well as that little bell to be notified. And of course, if you like the racing, hit that thumbs up. Looks like we got a good amount of thumbs on the race tonight, so thanks everybody for hitting that thumbs up. Definitely hit it. If you haven't, let us know, let the drivers know, and all the sponsors out there know that you appreciate all they do to keep this going. Definitely let the league know as well, as they put a lot of time in here to make these leagues possible, so we can come out here and broadcast it. But there's a huge battle going on here with Chris Perness here, as we're looking up there. But there's your leader creeping in. 4 to go. this is going to be very close to see if he laps him.
For sure, and it looks like it's going to be a last lap thing if it's going to happen, as he's 13.18 seconds ahead. So he's still got a little bit, about a second to make up. So we'll see if he can do it.
He is right there if he's going to be able to. He's in the same corner, so he's in one or two there, or one there together. If he's in two, they're together, and he is closing that gap very quickly. The question is the 15 going to do anything here? I don't think Bruce Wright is going to do it, but there is the one to go presented by Northwest Racing Series, and I don't think it's going to matter. I think Jeremy Horn is going to win it, but I don't think he's going to put the entire field a lap down, as that will do it. Checkered flag is waving, so your race winner here tonight is going to be the 14 of Jeremy Horn, as he came very close to putting this entire field a lap down here tonight.
Right, it was very, very close. If there would have been 2 more laps, I bet it would have happened.
Yeah, 2 more laps, and he would have definitely lapped the entire field here tonight. But he's going to do some celebrating here, so we'll go down to him and watch him do a celebrating. It looks like he is going to put it against the wall and do some burnouts there. So we'll switch to a camera here. We can get a good view at it here for you, but if we can get one, there is. It looks like it's kind of far away, but we'll see what we can do. And there we go. Let's go with that camera here. But we are going to go ahead and get through your unofficial race results here for tonight's race. So I'll go ahead and run through those here for you before we get to the post-race show. So again, coming away with the win here tonight is going to be the 14 of Jeremy Horn. In a second, it's going to be the 67 of Chris Parnes. Third place will be the 12 of Charles Smith. Fourth place will be the 37 of Ronald Vincent. And rounding out your top 5 tonight will be the 15 of Bruce Wright. In a sixth place will be Jeff Dodson. Seventh place, Noah Lewis. 8th place, Mark Koshik. 9th place, Jason Allison. And rounding out your top 10 will be Garrett Wilburn. 11th place will go to James Capehart. 12th place will go to Simon Thorns. 13th, Paul Cohen. 14th, Stephen Leffler. And 15th will go to Mark Frank. 16th will go to John Estes, and 17th will go to Jim Whaley Jr. That will do it here for your unofficial race results. We are going to step away here, folks, and we'll get ready for the post-race show, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back here, ladies and gentlemen, with your post-race show. And starting with a third place here tonight, that is the 12 of Charles Smith. Again, my pick for the win, just didn't quite get there in time. Again, Jeremy Horn had such a dominant car here, but third place, still a very, very respectable finish. So, first off, welcome to the booth once again. And, you know, you finished third. Obviously, you would have loved to get the win here, but finishing third, you know, does it feel good to get into top 3 anytime you can? And 2, how was it out there here at Bristol tonight?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, top 3 is great. You know, once I realized the other 2 chase drivers had issues, I went into a completely different mode and was just kind of coasting.
Oh, it definitely. It was a long race to say the least here. It didn't take a whole lot of time necessarily, as we haven't even been here live on the broadcast for an hour and a half, just under an hour and a half, and of course, 30 minutes of that was practice. So the race didn't even take an hour, even with the few cautions we had here. Running 4 laps a minute. This is probably one of the fastest tracks we've done here as far as lap times. So, let all the fans out there, these guys and gals out there watching that may not be on iRacing or just haven't been on it long, what is it like driving 170 laps, turning as much as you do here at Bristol on a sim?
Oh, it's tiring here at Bristol, man, because it's so fast. You really don't get no breather. You just constantly turning almost.
Constantly turning is the key around this track. And again, you just don't get a break. You're always on the gas, on the brake, turning. It literally is, brake, gas, repeat over and over again here. Getting your thoughts on the track here. We've heard a couple of different ones. With Bristol the way it is with its banking, which was the better line here? Was it the closer to the bottom, or was it closer to the top? That was kind of the preferred line here tonight.
Well, that's a tricky question. It just depends on who you are, really. I mean, the bottom felt safe. But you could probably go faster on the high side, but it was very sketchy up there.
Yeah, we saw a lot of incidents happening up at the top. We even saw someone get hung in the fence. I can't remember who that was, but somebody got hung in the fence there after a little scuffle with Jason Allison. Unfortunate for them, as both of them ended up out of the race. It may have been, I don't believe it was Mark Koshik. It may have been. But again, somebody getting hung in the fence. So dangerous up on the high side here of the track. But obviously you prevailed here. Came out in third, so you didn't let the track beat you as you tried to tame it the best you could. But that being said, any sponsors or just anyone you want to give a shout out to here for that finish?
I just want to thank everybody that comes out and race, and you guys for broadcasting it.
All right. Well, again, congrats on that third place finish. And coming in second here, that is going to be the 67 of Chris Burness. So we will hand it over to Randy Post. Randy, we'll let you talk to him.
All right, Charles. I've caught up with Chris here, and Chris, how was the car tonight? What were you seeing, and what was your strategy for the night tonight?
The car was great. I really liked the setup on it. My strategy really was to start back in last place, which where we were, and just kind of crawl our way. And throughout the race, avoiding wrecks and just racing clean and hard, we got up to second place where we are.
Right, and we noticed and we talked about it a little bit. You started in 17th, you ended up in second tonight. What did it take to avoid all those wrecks going through the field and through all 170 laps tonight?
Honestly, on a track like Bristol, ton of luck. There's no room for error on this track, and if one person goes, it's luck who gets through it, I think.
Right.
That and some really hard driving, but...
Right. We saw in the last restart, you and Noah were battling pretty hard for second place there. What gave you an advantage to keep second place over Noah for a while there?
I'm not really sure what I did to stay in front of him and get past him, but we did have some really nice, clean, hard racing. We were going in and out of each other, but I just think in the end he got a little too loose and hit into the wall and got a little bit of damage, and we were able to push past him.
Right on. So you had plenty of fuel. There was no question. We weren't sure on how everybody was going to last with fuel and everything like that.
Yeah, with that one pit stop that we had, or that I did, I still had enough fuel for another 60 laps.
All right. So, congratulations on your second place finish tonight. Is there anybody, sponsors, shout-outs you'd like to make tonight before we get out of here?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the Roaring Thunder Racing League for putting this together. It's been fun racing with you guys. I'd like to thank you guys for hosting the race and broadcasting, and I'd like to thank Steinwan Motor Group.
All right. Well, that's second place tonight, Charles, and I think you've caught up with first place of Jeremy Horn tonight.
I have indeed. And again, we may have to rename him here. Call it instead of Jeremy Hornet, maybe Mr. Dominant, as that is exactly what you did here. You led 167 laps of the 170, and the only other laps you didn't lead were under caution. As you quickly got the lead back here after that caution came out from Jason Allison. A very dominating performance here. So looking back before you got here to this race here tonight, did you expect to dominate like you did, or were you just hoping for the win, or at least hoping for a top 5?
Well, Bristol, I knew Bristol would be a wild card in these 2 races at the stage of the chase, and I definitely did not expect to dominate the way it went down, but I'm glad I did. I was hoping to come out of here with a top 5, just kind of miss all the wrecks, but CB put a good setup in for us all tonight, and I like running the high line, and like CB said, it was risky, but if you could get that high line worked in, you could be doing good.
The high line definitely seemed the way to go. You were running up there. It's very dangerous, especially, we talked about it in the during the racer. They added that safer barrier that took about a foot away. It's not much, but when you're out here racing, that foot can mean a lot. As we saw a lot of people sliding up and kind of bumping into and scraping their cars on that wall. It's been there ever, I believe, ever since we've had the track, but having that foot missing, especially in a car that likes to slide up and you can get into it, would you like to have that extra foot there to get around these corners?
I mean, you don't miss it too much in these cars for sure, because the damage model in these cars are atrocious to say the least. And we saw that that's what happened to Noah. I mean, he went from 2nd to 7th just because you got a little touch of the wall. And the way to run it real fast is enter in super high and keep it high throughout. Didn't get to run that line tonight because I just, being a chase contender, I really didn't want to chance it that much. So if you run the high line, that extra foot is mighty helpful coming out, because she can get pretty light coming out of these corners because the transition's so drastic.
Oh, definitely better to play it safe than sorry, especially when you got the chase on the line. But you definitely showed them here tonight that you were the man to beat, and obviously nobody stepped up to the challenge, as you nearly lapped the entire field here tonight as well. Only 2 cars on the lead lap when it was all said and done. So you, again, just a dominating performance. That's all you can say about it. But we do want to know, do you have any sponsors on the car, or just anyone you want to give a shout out to that might be out there watching here tonight?
I just thank Jeff and everybody at RTRL. They put on a heck of a league, and you've seen tonight, I mean, even though we lost 10 cars, I mean, it was still great racing. And thanks CB especially for putting the setup underneath this thing tonight. This thing was a rocket ship, and just like thank you guys for broadcasting. Anybody out here who's watching, hopefully you enjoyed it tonight, and just my wife and my son for allowing me to do this on Saturday nights and hang out with these guys.
All right, well, again, congrats on the win here tonight. And we have one more piece of business to take care of before we sign off here for tonight as well. Again, we want to give a big shout out to all of the partners here on Virtual Racing Network. To start with, Walls of Beard Co., Sim Speed Shop, Northwest Racing Series, Ohio IndyCar League, and of course iBog. Make sure you check out all of these great partners on their respectable Facebook pages and websites. So again, on behalf of all the sponsors, RTRL, VRN, we hope you have a great rest of your weekend and Father's Day this weekend as well. To all the fathers out there, and we are going to sign off. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central as we head to some more short track racing with the NESS Short Track Series, and then we go to Watkins Glen for Race Corps. So we'll see you then.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be used in any form without the authorized written consent of Virtual Racing Network. VRN would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.